Yeah, this is one crazy. I've been wanting to do this for a couple of days, but yeah. And then and I heard about the cop was trying to blame it on a weapon mix-up. Yeah, right. Well, we'll do it right here. A trigger-happy cop shoots unarmed eighth grader accused of breaking window, allegedly. Yeah. A cop shoots unarmed student accused of breaking window. And this is a Chicago PD, by the way. Keep in mind. All right, here we go.
Decides to shoot a student, unarmed student, accused of breaking a window. Let's do this. Put up the picture format. I'm going to give you the background to this. So there's body cam footage, and you see it right here. This is one of the screenshots from that footage. It shows an Illinois cop allegedly shooting an unarmed teenager.
Yeah.
Accused of damaging a woman's window in an incident that attorneys argue was unjustified, excessive, and unnecessary. Sauk Village police officers approached two 14-year-olds during the incident that unfolded. This was March 2022. Okay, you see it there.
That's last
Body
year.
cam and cell phone footage obtained by CBS News Chicago's investigators show an officer, Seth Brown, questioning the child, the girl, and the boy, the children, about the accusation. The girl responding to Brown, quote, "That ain't got nothing to do with me," end quote. A woman in the neighborhood blamed the male teen for breaking a window a day prior, telling a sergeant, Scott Langen, that two teens knew her nephew and she had a photo of the male teen. The video shows Brown instructing the children to keep their hands out of their pockets. As the male teen explains, they're in the area to meet up with friends, but the officer asks them for their name and their dates of birth. The boy responding, "We didn't do nothing wrong," end quote. There's more. According to the video, the incident intensifies when the officers tell the child to put his hands behind his back because they're taking him into custody. For what? The child responds, CDP, Langen responded, referring to criminal damage property. The teen's attorney said he didn't know what the acronym meant during the arrest. On top of that, both officers were reportedly not on the same accord and were telling him different things. "You're going to be charged and let go," Langen said. The other officer, Brown, said if he kept resisting, he would tase him, and ultimately did seconds later, causing the child to start running. Next, Langen allegedly took out his handgun and then shot the teen as he's running. Right there, shot him, striking him in the hip. However, the injured teen kept running out of fear and hopped over a fence. The video also shows the officer attempted to use a taser on him again after shooting him. This is a teenager who is unarmed. While hiding from the officers at the scene, the teen contacted his guardian, who came to the area per CBS News. The officers informed him that emergency first responders were on the way. The teen was transported to a local hospital for medical treatment. The eighth grader was not arrested. The eighth grader was charged with nothing.
Wasn't charged or arrested.
His attorneys, Ophel Jr. and Gabe Harding, filed a lawsuit against the police department. During the investigation, the CBS News reported Officer Langen told officials he shot the teen accidentally because he thought he grabbed his taser instead of his Glock. We've been here before.
Taser. He grabbed his gun.
Very familiar, very similar to the cop
who
shot Mr. Dante Wright.
Dante Wright. Boom.
Minnesota in 2021.
Boom.
The teen's attorney called his actions reckless. Put it up. Following the Wright incident, the Sauk Village Police Department created a policy that required officers to have their guns and tasers on opposite sides of their holsters to avoid confusion according to the report that day, that officer had his taser in front of his tactical vest. According to the report, he was cleared of all charges last month. Put up the chief.
Here it is.
This is Police Chief Malcolm White.
Malcolm White
said disciplinary action is yet to take place due to the department waiting on the decision from the Illinois State Police and Cook County State Attorney's Office. Yeah, end quote. So what happened here? An overzealous cop trying to harm a teenager that's unarmed, scared, yes.
Yeah.
What happened to just chasing somebody? I mean, why even tase the child? That alone seemed to be aggressive, uncalled for. This is a minor.
And especially knowing that the fact that it was just a simple property damage. Simple property damage on a window. That probably cost no more than $75. I mean, simple property, it's property damage. No no huge deal. No reason why it's justified tasing,
to the
letting alone shooting.
And to say, well, I pulled out the gun. I thought I had the taser. Can I say this? There are multiple incidents reported this way every year. The cop says, I pulled out my gun, but I thought I had the taser. Different color, different trigger system, different weight, typically on different sides of the officer.
Yeah. Remember he brought up the Dante Wright? There was a channel that has a clip of that. Well, she mistakenly pulled out her gun, which she thought was a taser, on Dante Wright, unarmed young man, black man. And I heard a video out where she shot Dante Wright, and Dante Wright took off. And I heard her say, "Oh fuck! Oh shit! I shot him. I fucked up." She admitted she fucked up.
Different training. But they get away with saying, you know what, I made a mistake. I pulled this weapon.
Yeah.
But I meant to pull the other weapon. But here's the thing. How many times is it reported when a cop pulls a taser and said, I meant to pull my gun, but instead pulled the taser? So the individual is still alive. Zero. Never happened.
Never
happened. Not reported, not one time. That's why I don't buy it.
You're right.
I don't buy it.
Not for a second.
It is a way for them to get away with it because every single time they get either no penalty or significantly reduced penalty for shooting someone.
Because you know why they get away with that shit? Qualified immunity, ladies and gentlemen. And I say it time and time again. Cops get away with it like that because they get no punishment, no repercussions. They get a slap on the wrist because they got that thing called qualified immunity. It means they can do whatever the hell they want. And they get away with it.
All right. My dear brother, thoughts here.
I think the police officer in this case was terribly lazy, and I think that's a common theme, right? It takes a certain amount of work to really try to say, okay, I'm going to find out. I'm going to have a calm conversation with this teenager. I'm going to try to find out what's going on. I'm going to survey the neighborhood. I'm going to make sure that we establish a rapport so that we can chat. But all too often, I think a lot of people want to take the shortcut. And for a cop, that means immediately saying, give me your ID. And then, pulling out a weapon of some kind, and the kid runs away. And instead of trying to chase them and tackle them and arrest them, police officer thinks, I can just shoot them. That's an easier way to bring them down. Or tase them. That's an easier way to bring them down. And you know what? What have we done now with this young man? This young man is going to have a view of police, and his family is going to have a view of police that is going to come back to haunt the police in the future. And that's what happens every single time police use excessive force.
That's right. Young man's in the 8th grade, shot by the police. Police says, it was an accident. Nothing happened. Kid doesn't even get charged for the original.
Exactly. And we always wonder why people call screaming and crying, defund the police, why people had zero trust in the police, because they're not held to the higher ground. They're not being held with accountability and transparency.
What went wrong between us?
We drifted apart. And you did start An unarmed 14-year-old suspected of breaking a window gets shot by police. The officer who fired later blamed the shooting on a mix-up, saying he used the wrong gun. CBS 2 investigator Dave Savini obtained the body camera video and reveals what went wrong.
Here it is.
How are you? Somebody called and complained about you guys. You guys were involved in something damaging somebody's windows.
It's 8:50 in the morning. Quiet South suburban Sauk Village when these two kids, a boy and a girl, both 14, are stopped by police.
What? Okay, you guys got your IDs on you?
Officer Seth Brown starts questioning the 8th graders about a broken window in the neighborhood.
Do me a favor, keep your hands out of your pockets, bro. Just keep your hands out of your pockets. You're coming out here to see friends? Okay.
Police body cameras are rolling. What happened? And also show Sergeant Scott Langan talking to a woman in the street who suspects the teens damaged a window on her home the day before.
That's the boy that did it. I got a picture of him.
Who are they? Do you know who they are?
They know my nephew.
Sergeant Langan then approaches the teens who are still being questioned by Officer Brown.
Full name and date of birth, okay? I'm not going to play with you two. Do you understand me? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you.
But the situation quickly escalates.
Why are you touching me?
Put your hands on your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Why are you touching me?
Because you're under arrest.
For what?
CDP. Arrested for CDP.
Criminal damage property.
The boy's lawyers say the 8th grader definitely didn't know. It's an acronym for criminal damage to property.
I'm going to tell you something, dude.
His friend then starts recording it all with her phone.
Listen.
Or it'll be another charge.
You understand me?
It'll be another charge, man. Then listen to the conflicting messages from the different officers. One saying, you'll be let go. The other, you'll be tased. Right now, it's just her word against your word. If you want to make another charge,
I'm going to tase you.
You're going to get charged and let go. But then Officer Brown stays true to his word and uses his taser on the 8th grader, who starts screaming in pain.
They use the taser on what's known as a pain setting. The only purpose of using the pain setting is to cause maximum pain to the individual.
Attorneys Gabe Hardy and Al Hofeld Jr. filed a lawsuit against the Sauk Village Police Department for the teen we are not naming. But it didn't end with the taser. Here's what happened next.
Put your hands behind your back, man.
While being shocked by the taser, the teen runs. Then watch as Sergeant Langan pulls his duty weapon from his holster on his right side, a .40 caliber Glock. He aims it and fires. Here's another view. The bullet rips through the teen's hip. These photos were taken at the hospital. Should a handgun have ever been pulled out and fired in this situation?
Absolutely not. It was excessive, completely unnecessary. There was no justification whatsoever for this officer immediately drawing his firearm and shooting this 14-year-old kid.
The teen, now bleeding, runs from the officers. Dude! Sergeant Langan catches up and this time pulls out his taser as the teen jumps a fence.
Go around the block. He ran around the block.
What was this 14-year-old thinking while he was shot and hiding in a yard somewhere?
He was afraid they were coming after him. He was afraid they were going to shoot him again.
They shot him once for no reason. Why would they not shoot him again?
Why did Sergeant Langan shoot? 2 weeks after this March of 2022 incident, Langan was questioned by state police and Cook County prosecutors. In this report obtained by the CBS 2 investigators, he claimed the shooting was an accident. He said he thought he grabbed his taser and didn't realize he grabbed his gun, and stated, "I'm completely sorry. I feel like I let everyone down. I have nothing else to say."
Do you think he should have known that he had a handgun in his hand?
He certainly should have known he had a handgun in his hand. He pulled the weapon from the holster that holds his...
Yeah, you notice the different shape of the taser versus the gun? Let me go back to it right here. Let's see if I can find it. You see that? That's the taser. That's the taser. Yeah, short. That's a taser right there. Now watch this.
and didn't realize
That's a gun right there. Yeah, the taser head was very short like that. Look at the gun. Bullets going in there, in the chamber, in the clip.
he grabbed his gun and stated, "I'm completely sorry. I feel like I let everyone down. I have nothing else to say."
Do you think he should have known that he had a handgun in his hand?
He certainly should have known he had a handgun in his hand. He pulled the weapon from the holster that holds his handgun.
Keep in mind, the handgun in this case, the Glock,
Look at
is
that.
nearly 5 times the weight of the taser.
Reckless?
Beyond reckless. And that is
That's at least
completely
reckless endangerment.
recklessness by you, the officer, not only endangering the individual that you are firing at, but the public in general.
Where he had kept his gun and his taser mattered. Take a look at this photo showing the sergeant's vest. It shows where he carried his taser. Then look at Officer Brown's gear. He had a separate holster on the other side of his body for his taser. There was a life-saving reason for this. A
Yeah,
year
Dante
earlier in
Wright.
Minnesota, an officer grabbed her gun instead of her taser and killed Dante Wright during a traffic stop. To make sure this type of incident didn't happen in Sauk Village, the police chief required officers to move their tasers to the opposite side of their body from their handgun, said Langan in his statement. But Langan just kept his taser Velcro to the front pouch of his vest.
When that officer made the decision to pull that handgun out of the holster,
Yes.
he was pulling it from a side of his body where the taser was never supposed to be.
Correct. And when he extends it out in front of him, it's within his range of vision. It's in fact, it's within his direct line of sight. So he sees the weapon before he pulls the trigger.
There seems to be other taser-related issues, too. Sergeant Langan said the department gave him taser training only 2 or 3 times in the 10 years he carried one. But this department policy says, at a minimum, officers should be trained every year.
Hey, what's going on, man?
The man with his hands up is the boy's guardian. He showed up on the scene after the injured teen, who was still hiding, called him to tell him he'd been shot by police.
The ambulance is coming up to check him out, okay? All right.
As paramedics arrived, the guardian begins asking police more questions.
He said you shot him for no reason.
No,
the girl said she got it on tape.
No, everything's on body cam, okay? Like, the whole incident is okay.
Even the emergency medical technician started asking questions.
They trying to say that one of y'all shot him or something.
That's real cute. You notice how that fucking pig went all quiet? Because he fucked up. He knows he fucked up.
And then he was transported to the hospital and treated for his gunshot wound. The broken window was never brought up again.
Do they ever arrest this 14-year-old?
No, he was never arrested.
Him. They never charge him. They never cite him.
Dude.
It's like it never happened?
It's like it never happened. And it looks and feels like contrition. Because they know, because they shot him unjustifiably.
It's now been a year and a half since the shooting, and the police department has yet to even start the disciplinary process.
Last month, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office decided not to charge Sergeant Langan. The Sauk Village Police Chief says he was waiting on that decision before taking any action. Dave Savini.
I mean, like I said, it's crazy. All that extreme for freaking property damage. You know, broken window, that probably is what? Worth, who knows, you know, probably like I said, maybe worth $50, $75, $100. But yeah, just something like that. From the go that extreme. I mean, it's like they said, it's like Dante Wright all over again. Anyways, I'm out here, much up. Peace out.